Hey buds, and welcome to the Minecraft Hot Takes video. I was watching a YouTuber called Jolts make Call of Duty Zombies like hot take videos, and I was like, hey, that looks like so much fun to do, to see what your guys' opinions are, because I have played Minecraft for just a little bit. I know a little bit about the game, but at the end of the day, what does the community think? And basically, if you don't know what a hot take is, it is a controversial opinion. So we're gonna start off with our members first. So Kinboshi saying the Minecraft movie was eh. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do about it? I'm going to come to your house and I'm gonna find you and I think that you are wrong. I have the Minecraft movie on DVD. I went to go see it a day early at the theater, made sure to get the creeper, like popcorn bucket and everything, and I knew going into it exactly what this movie was going to be. I think that there are some aspects of the movie that they could have done better, but I think that for the most part, they did a really, really good job kind of showcasing like the first nights of Minecraft, how chaotic they are, how much fun they are with friends. I will say something that I wish that they did was give the girls a little bit more stuff to do. It kind of felt like they were just like wandering around, not doing anything. If people had the idea that it was going to be like an Interstellar or like an Oppenheimer versus like a Barbie or a Scott Pilgrim versus the World or something, like something goofy that's meant to be silly and fun, and you just go along with the ride for it. Like, first we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft. That to me is exactly what I wanted the movie to be. And it's okay if you don't agree. Like, obviously these are hot takes. Nobody has to agree with like everything that I'm saying. But I feel like overall the movie was really good. Visuals wise, oh my God, beautiful. Like there are some cartoons where you kind of like jump into like, I guess the universe and you become like cartoonified. I don't really think that that would work for Minecraft, but that's a whole separate like side tangent I don't want to get into. So let's get into our next hot take. And this one is from Ultimate Adventures of MJ Lou. And they say, hot take, I think the Witherstorm should actually be the final boss of the game, and that command blocks should be canon to the main game in a way. So let's talk about that first one. First and foremost, no, please Mojang, if you're listening, I heavily do not want that in the game. The Witherstorm in Minecraft story mode, for those of you that are either too young to have played it or like just never got into it, that thing is a world eater. My friend Hobby made one where it's like 9 idiots versus the Witherstorm. Oh my God, if you need 9 people to take it on, I don't, number one, that is an insane skill, like level ceiling, whatever. Like I know that the Ender Dragon technically is the final boss of the game, you know, but there is no end of Minecraft. It would be cool to have like command blocks do something different in survival mode than in creative, but in survival, if they had a different function to be able to like, you have to like sacrifice something to the like, kind of like an altar, you know, and you'd have to put in like, I give the diamonds, I give this, and like summon in a wither that way, summon in like an Ender Dragon. That might be a little bit cool, but still that feels very modded. And I'm not really sure if that's like, again, the vibe of Minecraft. Like we're doing heavy vibe checks on everything here. And next up we have Morse25 saying Bedrock is okay. Not because I have the greatest memories ever, but it's really buggy as but because it's actually bug free with every patch needed and works perfectly fine on Switch. I'm pretty sure that last bit's sarcastic, but that's something I wanted to talk about a lot in this video, and I knew it was gonna get brought up. Bedrock Edition Minecraft is actually so underutilized by Java elitist players, and I say that as someone who has tens of thousands of hours playing Java Edition. Java and Bedrock run on like a different system to one another. Bedrock obviously has a lot of bugs, like right now Realms is down. I know that people were just having issues with like a giant memory leak over there. I think that it's an issue with modern gaming more so than it being a specific Bedrock Minecraft issue. You know, Minecraft's trying to utilize like the marketplace, and we're trying to add in like ways to pay for realms in the game and stuff like that. I feel like once you start getting into microtransactions and stuff like that, your focus kind of shifts from maintaining a I guess, functioning game, and it kind of moves over to, well, the game can have a few bugs, but as long as people are buying stuff, like, I feel like that's like a total different video of like how gaming is like doing horrible the last like 5-10 years now. But I do actually agree that Bedrock Edition is okay. Like, there are some times like I died getting my Elytra because like the game was a little laggy and stuff, and on my computer where I don't even lag with like shaders on and stuff in Java Edition, little weird for it to be lagging in Bedrock Edition. Yep, I think that this is a good take. All right, next up, Fair Raindrop says, not sure how much of a hot take this is, as it depends on playstyle. I believe farms and automations are harmful to the experience. For me, each farm is just one less thing to do in Minecraft, and I've seen so many people get on, build farms, and then have nothing to do, and then they'll lose interest in the game. Again, this is also just depending on the player. Some people don't lose interest and pursue other things like building. I agree with this to like a certain extent. I feel like fully automating things like a wood farm is like a little bit, you know, it's going into that realm of making it unfun. I know that a lot of people are like, ooh, that nice Minecraft feeling where you're breaking down, you know, punching your first tree and everything. But the novelty wears off after a while. I'm personally someone who I could sit for hours and just mine in my tree farm, getting a bunch of wood that I need for a project, and, you know, put on a video on the side or something, or listen to a live stream or whatever, and I'll be just fine. My interest will not ever go away. I did make a tree farm once, and I thought it was really boring to just sit there and hold down like right click, left click. That was really boring for me. I do have a moss farm in my world, and stuff like that. Moss is really annoying to get because you have to use like stone and then bone meal, and then you gotta like mine it down with a hoe. I think that some farms are actually more useful for keeping players entertained. I have a really old lava farm in my world, and whenever I need lava, I'm not like, oh, I gotta make a trip to the nether. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna grab some lava, I'm gonna come back up, and I'm, you know, gonna get onto my build. And I personally hate like destroying biomes and stuff. So when I need something like, oh, I need a bunch of gravel or sand or concrete or, you know, any of the gravity blocks, I always go to my end duper because I like refuse to destroy an entire biome. So stuff like that, for me, it makes it like so much more fun. Yes, it's like, you know, Java glitch and everything, but it does keep me invested in the game more. And some people are really against it, other people aren't. And that's not to say I like all of like the dupes and cheats that people find. I feel like I am the only person in the history of the planet that hates TNT dupers. Whenever I'm watching a YouTube video and I see a TNT duper, I'm like a 50-50 of I'm turning that video off and I'm walking away. I hate TNT dupers. TNT dupers that make like the giant quarries and everything. That is so boring to me. But a lot of people like doing it because it saves them a lot of time. And you know, human beings, we like to find like the most convenient thing to do that takes the least amount of time. So it does depend on the player. I feel like a large majority of people do fall for that like little loop trap that you're talking about of get on, get the gear, make a farm. Okay, now what do I do? But I agree with this entirely. It really does depend on the player because some of you guys make the farm and then have to like go and look up a tutorial on how to build stuff. Just take your time. Build as needed, use the blocks that you're getting. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this, but next up we have Kian Gamings. And they say, I think Bedrock is way harder than Java, even if you were playing on a computer and actually have no bugs and no internet and no ping issues. I wholeheartedly agree with this. If you play Bedrock Edition Minecraft, you have it harder. Not only for things like the Wither is a freaking tank on Bedrock Edition. Even when it was like first added and everything, like you can go back to like when it was added for like Xbox and everything, and you'll see like Stampy taking it on or something. It was no joke, and it's still no joke. I remember the first time I loaded up Bedrock Edition and I was actually trying to cross like a river. There was a drown with the trident, and you know, in Java, I can just dodge it and, you know, move on with my day. No, I got tridented to the face and I died. And I don't think that it's a skill issue. I mean, Minecraft and its mechanics, I know very, very well. I just think that not only, like how you mentioned, the bugs and stuff, but if there were no bugs, Bedrock Edition is just statistically harder. Things have more HP, have more damage. There's a different spawn mechanics than Java. Bedrock Edition has some bugs, but not bugs that are like so overly game breaking, like being able to just get on top of the nether and do whatever you want up there, because that makes things like building farms so much easier. So you have to manually go through and like slab up an entire nether fortress just to get wither skeletons to spawn. Like, it's insane. This is like, if you disagree with this, I highly recommend you go play some Bedrock Edition and then go play Java Edition. You will immediately see the difference. I'm Bladed says, I think the peaceful mobs on Bedrock should act like Javas. And I think that this is referring to their respawn mechanic, because like I said, Bedrock has different mechanics than Java. So Bedrock Edition, even if you kill like all of the pigs in your spawn, within like 5 or 10 minutes, there are gonna be like, you know, cows and pigs and chickens and sheep, and they're all going to just like continuously respawn. Also, the despawning mechanic is a lot different. If you put certain mobs in holes in Java, they're always gonna be there unless like they're killed. In Java Edition, if you put something in like a boat or you put it in like a hole or something, it will despawn if it's not name tagged. I feel like I'm 50-50 on this. I feel like that mechanic where they're in the boats and they're just able to despawn, I want that to be like Java, where they stay put all the time. But like farm animals and other peaceful mobs, I really want for them to be able to respawn like in Bedrock Edition. Obviously a lot less, like a lot slower kind of regenerating. Like, it would be cool to see every now and then you have like a baby sheep pops up or something, and then you can watch it grow, and then eventually it'll summon in like a baby next to it or something. You know, something to like repopulate instead of Bedrock where it's like boom, 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 babies. Next, we have Perlescent saying the fantasy elements of Minecraft should be way more tapped into. Magic-based combat is entirely limited to a few potions, and that's it. We need more of it. Clearly, we've seen it's possible with the Witch and Illusioner, as well as the Ender Dragon, and really that's it. They only added a little, and it feels off. It feels like they're holding back a lot of potential from the aspect of the game. I think that this is when we go back to the continuity of vanilla Minecraft. Like, I would love for there to be kind of like a, not a super overpowered, but kind of like a magic system that feels Minecrafty, you know, like how the evokers kind of like summon in those little things that come out of the ground and everything, like the little cage trap dudes, or like they summon in like the Vexes and stuff. It would be really cool to be able to, like, from an enchanted book, learn a spell that summons in like your own little, you know, Vex or a Lay or some little mob that doesn't have like a lot of like, I guess, other usages in the game. And then you can kind of have them for like, let's say like 5 minutes they'll be in the game, and then it'll be on cooldown for like, you know, 5 more, and it takes like 10 levels of experience or something. That would be cool to have like an experience-based mana bar type of thing for Magic. I would be entirely down with that. I do feel like they really are lacking. There is a lot of like magic that could be kind of reached into. And I feel like when we get a new dimension, that's probably when we'll actually like uncover more of that. I know a lot of people are desperately asking for an end update. And I've made a video going into why I don't think we need an end update, but if they make an end update and they totally change everything and they involve like magic and somehow they get it to work and everybody is happy, I will be happy, of course. But I do like that idea, but I don't think that Minecraft is really, I'm not sure if that's the way that they're going with the game. It feels like they're adding in a lot of everything else around you is magical and you're the outsider in the universe. I don't want to be able to cast like fireball and like an entire village just gets nuked off the map or anything like that. You know, I want it pretty basic. All right, this one is coming from our Discord, which the link to that is in the description if you want to join that. But Kane says acacia wood is not only the worst wood, it's also useless if you're not gonna make tools with it. You can't build with it, you can't really style it. It's stuck being a roof block because it's an ugly color. I disagree heavily. Where are my acacia wood truthers? Rise up right now. I will die on this hill that there is no bad wood types in Minecraft. Don't look at birch. Birch didn't do anything. You guys just hear one thing and then you echo it in a sound chamber. Birch is incredibly underrated, underutilized, and frankly awesome. Same thing goes for its cousin acacia. Acacia wood is freaking awesome. When you have the logs just normally, you can pair that with so many like lighter blocks. You can pair it with darker blocks. If you strip it down and get that orange, then you have highlights for certain things. There are so many uses for acacia wood. wood. And I think that if anyone thinks that wood types are bad, I feel like, you know, not to be rude or anything, but I think that that's just a skill diff. Like, I feel like you need to expand your, I guess, like, building tools. Like, you really gotta, you gotta look within yourself and kind of say, well, what can I make with this? Acacia wood builds Minecraft. A lot of these are houses. Like, this could be used as like a highlight. We have better examples kind of like this. Like, look at this. That's so freaking cool. Like, going down, like, the birch combo, we got glowstone with the white. Like, look at this with the detailing. It looks super awesome with sandstone. Like, lighter colors match with this orange. Darker colors get the highlight from this. Not to mention something like this, where you can make a gradient that fades into, like, a more greener with the copper now. Oh my god, this is, like, the perfect gradient to use with this. Oh my god. You slap Acacia on, like, at the very, like, somewhere over here, you could add in the normal, like, Acacia log, and then over here you can add in, like, obviously the normal, like, copper block that doesn't have, like, the oxidization at all, but then you can add the proper, like, log and then strip it, or you can have planks, and there's so many different ways to do it. All wood in Minecraft is amazing. All of the wood types that we've got have a purpose, and they all can be utilized very, very well. Now, whether or not they're, you know, annoying to get, yeah, acacia wood isn't like the most fun to get. Obviously, I think everyone agrees that the most fun to get is something like the mega spruce trees, or something like the dark oak tree, something really small that gives you a whole bunch. Acacia does not do that, but it is so freaking worth it. Oh my god. Jacko Bonnie Plays says, hot take, I feel like skeletons should be deleted. I have such a hatred for skeletons in Minecraft. They are my mortal enemy. I hate the skeletrons. They suck to go against. And with the addition of like shields and stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier. I know that this is mostly a joke, but I don't feel like they should be deleted. Skeletons always, when they shoot at you, their arrow will always aim for like your, kind of like your right shoulder. So if you just strafe to the left of them and keep running to the left as they shoot, they will not hit you any of the time if you're like running in that direction. There are many ways to avoid skeletons absolutely demolishing you. If you're on Bedrock Edition though, you're just screwed. Bedrock Edition, that is a whole other can of worms, and they, I swear to God, have aimbot. Oh, and then we have a total separate take here by May Chaos Take the World. It says, I think that skeletons in Bedrock should never change, because even though they have way too good of aim, it's all worth it because of the memes, and they're amazing to hate on. I agree 1,000%, 1,000,000%. But the second one that Chaos has for us is, Mojang needs to add more hostile mobs to the game. You have the basic zombie, creeper, skeleton, and spider, but they get old after a while. I don't agree with this. I actually feel like they need to tone back the hostile mobs, because I feel like that's really all we're ever getting at this point, is we're getting some type of variant, or we're getting some type of, you know, different colored version. Like we have the drowns, we have the parch, the bog. I feel like sometimes it's better, like, if you don't have anything new, to just not make anything. Or would you rather them like not make anything, and then like, boom, they spawn in like a new boss or something, and it's super cool, and they've gone into it a whole bunch. I would personally rather them to make like a new boss mob or something along those lines, like something absolutely crazy. This isn't like a you know, Call of Duty Zombies or something. We're not waiting for like seasons to drop and a new like, you know, map or something, and we're like, oh, we're gonna fight this big bad boss guy, or, you know, this is Minecraft. It's supposed to be playable whenever, so I think that seeing the variations and stuff like that are cool. I don't know. I'm very all over the place with that one, quite frankly. I'm not sure how to feel on that. My opinion will probably change later, but moving on, baby zombies are not hard to fight. Either stand still and focus on timing, or build up twice and whack it. I agree with you on this in Java Edition. Java Edition, the only thing that's hard about it is actually aligning the cursor with their hitbox, because it's tiny. But Java, you run so much faster than everything. You can elytra immediately and fly away. You can, you know, like how you said, build up 2 blocks, and then you don't have to deal with them. Bedrock Edition baby zombies, with how laggy and glitchy the hitboxes are, Oh my freaking god. Those guys are so challenging to hit. And it's not only like pertaining to baby zombies, also regular zombies, creepers, skeletons, all of them. The hitboxes in Bedrock are so freaking glitchy. Baby zombies in Bedrock Edition feel like they are literally on like some type of enhancement drug with how fast they're going. So Java Edition, I agree with you. Bedrock, oh no. Autumn Breeze 1396 says, I think that Minecraft's progression is too jank. I feel like you can breeze on by to at least full diamond armor without too much effort. And after a little bit, once you get netherite armor, it doesn't feel like there's a reason to play. And they feel like something that could really change that is adding in an enchantment rework. I can get behind an enchantment upgrade like so easily. I do think that enchantments are pretty essential to the game, and I feel like they're not there to make the game boring. Like the fact that most people get tired of playing Minecraft after getting like diamond gear or netherite gear, they have a objective, like a goal set in mind for themselves. And what happens when you reach the goal, you can feel like, you know, I finally did it. Yes, like you feel great about it and everything. But what comes next? And I feel like not a lot of people actually have answer to that what comes next, because I know that once I get diamond armor, I'm not looking for netherite armor or anything like that. I'm looking for, okay, what materials can I gather? My pickaxe is really fast now. I can get a beacon. I can mine things quicker. Okay, so I'm thinking of the nether. Okay, I need to make sure that my tools are good in order to go to the nether, because I hate dealing with the wither skeletons and the blazes that are there. Okay, well, if I've already been to the nether, or I've already, you know, defeated the ender dragon, maybe I have some blaze rods. I can go brew up some potions, and then that expands into a whole other universe. So I think that that's mostly on players, the retention side of this like hot take. I feel like you guys need to make more of like, there is no end game to Minecraft. It is literally, what do you want to do as a person? If you're not organized as a person and you don't have like a list of goals that you want to achieve in the game, if you're just playing a little bit more casually to have fun, hopping on every now and again, then of course it's going to be a little bit lame, because once you have gear, it kind of gets rid of that whole like, I want to go mining and get diamonds and, you know, do my original goal. I feel like people just need to have more goals. They need to think a little bit bigger. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that in Minecraft. They kind of make it be like, well, I'm gonna go get diamond armor, or I'm gonna get netherite armor, and then I'm kind of done with the game. But the game is like primarily building. Even though it's not buildcraft, it's Minecraft, but it's the whole point of the game is creativity in my eyes. And if your only goal is to get something via crafting or otherwise, then I feel like you're missing out on like the core mechanics of what make Minecraft so special to begin with. I don't think that they need to mess with anything like retention wise. Everyone's goals are different. So yeah, some people's final goal could be getting like a netherite beacon or something like that, you know, something really far out there that they're gonna hop on every day to kind of achieve. But again, that is up entirely to the player. Some people want to build like a dirt mansion every single time they log on. You know, it's from a game developer standpoint, that's kind of hard to like put into place with like retention and stuff. Like we do not want like battle passes or anything to come to Minecraft. I'll tell you that right now. That is one thing that nobody wants. But I do feel like it's not up to Mojang to make players keep playing. I feel like that is up to the players. That is up to what they want to get out of the game. And depending on, you know, how much you genuinely care on having a good time playing, or, you know, so on and so on. It's really just up to you. And for the enchantment portion, I do think that a reworked enchantment is unnecessary. And I know a lot of people are saying like mending is overpowered, mending is this and that. Guys, I was there when you had to use 50 experience points and you would lose all of them. There was no unenchanting, there was nothing. The maximum, you had to get rid of all 50 of your XP points, and you might have gotten something as stupid as Bane of Arthropods. Like, I think that the enchantment system that we have right now is still super good, and it's still super solid. I feel like there's a big jump from having unenchanted tools to enchanted tools, and then like I said with the beacon stuff, you get enchanted tools plus a beacon. You're insta-mining, you're going through everything. You know, like I don't feel like enchantment has like a single Enchantment isn't the fix for player retention or making people have better goals. I feel like enchantment has always been more of like a crutch to help you. Whether or not you need it, you can find a way to utilize it better. It's more of like an extra help once you've actually got to like later portion of your playthrough. But I feel entirely like player progression is based off of individuals not having enough creativity, and that's not, you know, that's not to insult anybody or say anything. You know, I'm not trying to make anybody upset with this, but just from what I've seen, a lot of people, you know, build one single house and then they kind of call it quits, and they delete the world like a few weeks later and they start up again. Because they are asking the same thing out of the game over and over again. You gotta expand on what you're doing. You gotta change up the way you're playing. If what you're doing, if you only play a game for a week and say, wow, that was fun, but it was really boring, get on the next week, do something totally different, play a totally different way. And average YouTube user says the villager trading rebalance was actually a good change. Oh my gosh. We're getting into some hot topics here. Okay. Villagers and mending are too easy to get and too op. Okay. I strongly disagree with this. I never go through the villager trade of like, I need to go find a village and I'm gonna live there and I'm gonna make them all do my bidding and they're gonna trade with me. Nah, I go about it like, okay, I have a few goals in mind that I wanna get to. Villagers, yeah, it'd be nice to have a nice way of getting like emeralds and stuff because I like building with emeralds. It's easier to get certain books like that. With the villager trade rebalance, if I have to go to every biome, collect the villagers, run them over like 100,000 blocks back to my house, that is so not worth it. That is such a, I do agree that villager trades are a little overpowered in some aspect. I feel like the whole thing of name tags closer to like 1.13 was really more of like, whoa, this is super rare. I only have like 5 name tags. And then now, of course, you can buy them from villagers. You can get them everywhere, basically. Mojang realized, a lot of people like naming their dogs, their cats, their horses, you know, whatever, villagers even. Why are we making it such a limited commodity? Why are we making it so hard to get, you know? I feel like the systems now are implemented because of what people want. Because back before mending and all this stuff even, you know, came out, everybody complained about, I need to go mining so many times. I need to get so many diamonds. I need to make sure like Unbreaking 3 has to be on my pickaxe. If not, it's worthless to me. And in order to get it, I have to put in so much time and effort. That's just such a pain. That's not worth it. And then Mojang was like, oh, okay, well, next update, we're gonna add in, you know, mending can be from villagers. Just trade them up to the maximum level and go. It's the community. Again, the community has used and abused the systems that Mojang has put into place. So they said, here, you guys have been complaining, take mending. And now so many people are like, mending makes the game too easy. Well, before we were complaining about it, and now we're complaining that it's too good? Like, there isn't a middle ground other than if you think it's too overpowered, don't do villager trading or don't abuse villager trading. I just get what I need. And I feel like a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people get way too greedy with it and start saying, oh, well, if the villager can give me 2 sticks for 1 emerald, I'm gonna go make a bamboo farm. And oh, this guy over here sells campfires. I can get a infinite charcoal farm going. And then, ooh, I can make a kelp farm over here. And then I'll have infinite power, infinite, you know, fuel and everything. It's not appealing. It's not fun. I'm going to assume you mean the villager trade rebalance that is still in experimental mode, which limits what villagers have based off of certain biomes. They can't give certain enchantments based off of what biomes they're from and stuff. So like you can only get like Frostwalker from a villager that lives in like a big sprucey, snowy area. You can only get like, you know, stuff like that. Like certain things are only in certain areas. I feel like that in and of itself would encourage people to travel a whole bunch. But for people that don't travel and don't go thousands of miles out of their way to explore, you know, new villages and get a bunch of villagers to bring back home, which is most people are not hardcore Minecrafters. They play the game very casually. That's just gonna ruin the game for them. And in turn, it would make villagers obsolete. So there's a very fine and narrow line that Mojang is walking here. And again, I feel like it's up to both the players and the community. Yeah, this This is probably the hottest take we've had yet. Oh my goodness. But buds, that was all of the hot takes. But if you have any hot takes, make sure to comment them down below because I would be so down to make like a part 2 of this. Thank you to everybody who commented leaving me a question. I really appreciate it. If you want to see my Let's Play series where I recently transformed an entire ocean monument, draining it and everything, then check out this video on screen now. And if you want to know about every single new update, then make sure to check out this playlist because every Tuesday I upload a snapshot video. But as always, buds, remember to join the village today. It's only a click away. And special thank you to our members, Aya Lilith, the Happy Tree Hugger, Ken Boshi, and Medulla Budz.